Yeah, so we get to know about the URL, and we get to know about how internet works, and like how from one particular place to another particular place that you are directing, right? So let's draw the story of the DNS, right? So just a second, I just need to know. Yes. Mhm. Yeah, people just confirm whether I have given anything to write from this particular paragraph, or I just ask you to draw the
Until the IP is.
only the diagram, right? You know,
Yeah.
right? Okay, right. Okay. So it's better we write something from this and then we draw the diagram, right? Yeah, it's better you copy this part starting from here up to here. So get it done quickly. So then I'm going to draw the particular diagram. All right. So the one who just connected, we are writing this highlighted paragraph, and we are going to draw a diagram later. Okay, one is done. How about others? Okay, two are done, three are done. Is there anyone still writing this? Okay, so we are going to draw how the DNS works. Right. Okay, so this is how it happens. Now, first what happens is user will give a particular domain name or a URL into the browser. Right, so this is the browser and it will be having www dot, let's say, google.com. Right, so once it is given, browser will hand it over the URL www.google.com to the operating system of the computer. Right, so it's the www.google.com is given to the OS, and then the operating system through the internet send it to the DNS. Right, so all these places it is www.google.com. And when it is reached at the DNS, so if we assume this is the DNS, inside this, it got this table right where it has a detail about www.google.com with the matching IP address. Let's say it is 190.30. Let me expand the margin over here. .70. Let's assume it is the IP, right? Right, so it will be there. So when the DNS server, this is the DNS server. So DNS server match this particular IP address, then return the IP address again through the internet to the OS.
So if a country doesn't have a DNS server, then you should access another country's DNS server.
Ma, didn't get you, Minul.
The country doesn't have their own DNS server.
Like we, yeah, we can have.
Not us.
Yeah, it's like this. DNS is given by the service provider manual. So like if we are maintaining a big network and we are using our own website to maintain the network, just a personal network, right? Personal means like it's organizational. That network will not be able to access through the internet from by anyone in the outer world. හිතන්නකො bank එකක network එකක් කියලා. bank එකේ island wide network එක, they have their own network, so they use a particular website inside their network to maintain their own work. like අපි එකට intranet එකක් කියලාත් කියනවා. intranet කියලා word එකක් පාවිච්චි කරනවා අපි. We call it intranet. So when such thing is happening, it's so like it's a website which only shared inside the organization. So we can use our own DNS. So when the clients are requesting that particular website, we are like maintaining, like our DNS will map where the server is to those client computers, right? But not for the general things like අපිට google.com වලට යන්න අපි ගාව DNS එකක් maintain කරන්න බෑ. We don't have that ability. Right?
I'm asking, so like if a service provider, like not in Sri Lanka, it's like some other country, a service provider doesn't have a DNS server, then whose DNS server would they access to go to them?
Oh, when the service provider is in another country. Now, Menol, it's like this. Now, we have to have the facility from a local one. Again, හිතන්නකො ඔයාගේ company එක.
No, like I mean like another country's service provider. Or think of like SLT, like SLT doesn't have a DNS system server. How do they access the internet?
It's like this. When in Sri Lanka, they also happening in that manner. So SLT is providing the DNSs to the other companies, right? So they are basically, the major provider is the SLT. So other companies are renting from the SLT. So same happens in the scenario that you are asking. So like a particular company, if they do not have a particular DNS, they have to rent a one. Right? If they are providing a...
But then we are accessing like other countries, like other local websites.
Yeah. So like the simple scenario is this. If we want to provide the internet facility, we should have a DNS. If we don't have a DNS, we should rent that particular service from a service provider who is renting that. Right? It's not like a company is renting to its customers. It's like company to company renting. Got it?
Yes.
Right. So then this particular IP is informed to the operating system, and it is informed to the browser, not displaying, right? It will be informed to the browser. Right? So then the browser now, if you assume the web server which holds the website is right over here. So let's say this is www.google.com, which has the IP address 190.30.60.70, right? So this contains the web pages, right? The HTML pages. You'll get to know what are the HTML when the time comes, right? It's in the 5th lesson, right? And what is actually happening is, through the internet, it will connect with this, right? So the browser will move over here, or like the browser will access the internet, and through the internet, it will access the www.google.com, right? Then you are going to have a screen which is showing you the google.com in it, right? So then this Google server will like show its first page onto the screen, right? So like we know, and this search bar, right? So this is provide from this. I'm putting it in dash because අපි එක එහෙම අඳින්න නැතුව අනිත් පැත්තට අඳගමු ඉන්න. Right, we call this the request, and the request, right? So the response comes. All right, so let me number this. So you can start drawing. Right, this is what is happening. So if you remember the diagram, if they ask to describe what's happening really when we are requesting a particular website, so you can just explain. Just remember the diagram. Let me know when you are done, people. Yes, yes, Binod, something like that. Like, I think it's the same scenario maybe take place, but only the devices which get differs. Like we use modems and some other devices like to maintain the things. But I guess DNS, the concept should have been there. I'll search for it. Are we done, people? Let me know when you are done, people. Okay, one is done. How about others?
Don't.
Right, okay, two are done. Oh, no. Yeah, come on. Lamai අපි මෙතන මේ google.com කියන එක ගාව let's write the word web server. And here you can better you say user computer, user / client computer. Okay, is there anyone still drawing the diagram? Just confirm, people.
Don't.
Right. Yes, people, how about others? Right. Okay.
So everything here happens in milliseconds.
Menul, I'm not getting you.
Everything here happens in milliseconds.
Everything happens here.
Like in milliseconds, like so fast.
Menul, your line is not clear, Menul. Right. Let's move to the other part. Menul, just type it. All right. Okay. Yes. Even like we can't say like, yeah, milliseconds. Yes. If the connection is fast, like it may happen like faster than that, right? Okay. So we know now how internet works. Now this is the diagram that we were happened to draw there, right? And it's better you know about the like the protocol extractions. Like we are not going to describe the protocols, right? There are different kinds of protocols here. And yeah, I want you to copy this particular table, and it's better you have another third column in between this protocol and usage, saying the extraction of it, right? So like what is HTTP? Hypertext Transfer Protocol, TCP/IP Transmission Control Protocol / Internet Protocol. So basically what I'm asking is like the description, put it inside the table, right? And draw this table. And before you draw the table, yeah, you better like write this. Yeah, with this para plus the table, right? Right, and in between you say what is HTTP, right? The maker protocol කියන එක ඇතුළෙම ඔයගලන්ට පොඩි ඉරි කැලක් ගහලා ලියා ගන්න පුළුවන් නම් it's also okay, right? HTTP means what? Hypertext Transfer Protocol. මෙයාව අරගන්න මෙතනට. Then the usage. Right, so once you're done with this, I'll explain what are the purpose of these protocols, right? Are we done, people? All right, one is done. How about the others? Okay. All right. Is there anyone still writing this? Okay, so I'm going to move, right? Right now, when it comes to the protocols, now protocols means the rules and the regulations, or like the kind of a law how it operates the networks. So hypertext transfer protocol HTTP is there to say how a web page from one particular place travels from one particular place to another place, right? So that is what we call like HTML pages. Like website is made out of the HTML pages, right? So HTML stands for hypertext transfer, hypertext markup language. So when hypertexts need to be transferred, we need the HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol, right? So it is the way which describes or which maintains the exchange of the HTML document. TCP/IP, which is called the Transmission Control Protocol, and the Internet Protocol, these two works together, right? And they are like controlling of the exchange of IP addresses, right? So once we request something from some particular website, or like when we are asked from our website that we need to connect with a particular website, so the DNS, once the DNS send the IP address to our browser, Then using the TCP IP, our browser will exchange the IP address with the web server so they can communicate, right? And FTP, it's majorly about file transfer protocol, which is directly says about how files are being transferred. Now, when it comes here, it is the files, right? So like those files are not the attachment that you are doing to the email, right? These are the files like you exchange using Google Drive or like Dropbox, right? Or like OneDrive, right? So those files, the direct shares, not the shares actually, the transfers, like you are sending from one particular file to another particular place, right? Like when you are building a particular website in your computer, then when you are uploading the your files or the HTML web pages that you have built in your local computer into the cloud, we take place the file transfer protocol. When you are uploading something, it take place the FTP, file transfer protocol, right? So FTP involves on such situation. And SMTP, it's a simple mail transfer protocol, right? And it is the protocol regarding the emails, right? Like traveling, like email is traveling from one place to another. Emails එහෙට මෙහෙට යවා ගන්න එකට අදාළ වෙන්නේ SMTP, simple mail transfer protocol. And ICMP is the internet control message protocols. Now, this is about like controlling the messages, like uh, when there is an error regarding the messages, it will inform and control the error, right? That is why IMCP is there, Internet Control Message Protocol. So it's better you remember the usage in case if they ask, you have to write that. And it's better you remember the extraction as well. What is stands for HTTP, what is stands for TCP IP, likewise, right? Okay. So now we are moving to the client server architecture. Now, this is not something alien for us, right? Now we know already what is a client server architecture. Now, through the diagram that we drew over here, I wrote it, the browser is in the user computer or the client computer, right? So in a client server architecture, client is the one who is receiving the service. Server is the one which is providing a service. Now, when you take DNS server is providing the domain name system facility, or like in simple words, mapping the mapping the URL or the domain names into the IP addresses. That is the service given by the DNS. And when it comes to the web server, it is providing web service, right? So it holds a particular website, and that particular website is always open and provided to the people who are requesting that, right? So that is the service of the web server. So now when we are connecting to a website, we say we are in a client server architecture. We are the client, we are requesting the website. Web server is providing us the website. So they are the server, right? So that is what we call client server architecture, right? So in client server architecture model, client will be always client and server will be always a server. They are not shifting their roles. Where there is another architecture called peer-to-peer architecture. A peer can be a client as well as a server, right? But when it comes to the client server architecture, that is the story, right? So we know about these things, right? So only we need to like mention what are these things. Okay, people, is it clear about the client server architecture? It's a simple thing, right? Client is there requesting for a service. Server is there providing a service, right? Yeah, is it clear, people?
Yes.
Right, great. And yeah, hold on. How we are going to write in the Yeah. It's better you write this part regarding this. Quickly write it down. You don't need to draw the diagrams. You can understand it by the diagram that we drew. Who is the client and who are the servers, right? So there can be many different servers like this. The one who is providing the email facility for us is called the email server, right? And when we are connecting with some applications through the internet, it is given by the application server, right? So application in the sense like internet banking facilities, right? Those kind of things. Those are applications. Can අපිට interact වෙන්න පුළුවන්, right? So like when it comes to the ඒකයි අපි Facebook වගේවට අපි apps කියලා කියන්නේ, right? It's a internet based application, right? In other words, a program, kind of a program, right? But if you take Wikipedia is just a website. It's not an application. So like we are just requesting the Wikipedia and we are just viewing it. That's all. Right. Are we done over here? Okay. Right. And yeah, hold on. Yeah, and it's better you write this sentence. Yeah, yes, Minul. And which is not a very practical situation. Like a client computer එකක් කිව්වම Minul, what Minul is asking is when client is hosting a website in his or her computer, it's become a server computer. It will definitely, but the problem is like to host a website or like to host a service, it should be something powerful, right? එතකොට ඒක it's not going to be client computer anymore, right? And yeah, write this sentence. So yeah, the device which receives a service, after the paragraph, just put another point kind of thing, right? Points දෙකක් විදිහට ලියා ගන්න. The device which receives a service, the device which receives a service is called the client, and the one who providing the service, and the one which providing the service, I'm sorry, and the one which providing the service is called server. right? And then it's better you write these two sentences, right? Regarding the downloading.
Can a supercomputer be a server?
Supercomputer.
Yeah.
Yes, because it is providing a service to the which is like referring to that. Like if you think about the NASA, the rocket is the one who is going to be the client. Supercomputer is the one who is providing the service to the rocket, right? So the yeah, it can be now. The මෙහෙම දෙයක් තියෙනවා මෙනොල්. අපි client server කියන architecture කතා කරන්නේ ගොඩක් වෙලාවට network base කරගෙන. Like if it is just controlling the rocket and the control center, the communication happens in between those two. Samhara වෙලාවට it is odd to say client server, right? So like it's kind of a communication a client server ම කියලා අපිට හිතන්න අමාරුයි. Client server කියන එක අපි ගොඩක් වෙලාවට base කරගන්නේ regarding a network, right? එතකොට rocket එක පැත්තට ගියාම networkම නොවෙන්න පුළුවන් මිනු. ගොඩක් වෙලාවට controlling side එක there can be a network part as well, but we can't address it as a totally like it's we can't address it as a network. It's an operation which is going on, right? Now clearly when it comes to the mainframes and the mini computers, definitely they are going to be the servers. Right, so once you are done with the highlighting part, then for examples, you can write these three servers down, right? Web server, mail server, and DNS server. Okay, one is done. How about others? All right. Okay. Yeah. Is there anyone still writing? Lot are being confirmed that they are done. All right. Okay. So moving forward. So hereafter we are going to talk about the services of the internet. Now, this is a good thing for you to understand that internet is not just websites, right? So like website, when it comes to the websites, it is just World Wide Web, which is the famous service in the internet, right? And apart from that, there are many different services which is given by the internet, right? So World Wide Web is one of the best things. So World Wide Web is consist uh, a collection of websites, right? Like literally all the websites in the world together form the World Wide Web, right? So whenever we are going to refer a service from the World Wide Web, we have to use a URL which starts from www, right? So it is definitely referred with the protocol HTTP or HTTPS, the secure manner, right? So like when a website is requesting sensitive data, it is on the protocol called HTTPS, Hypertext Transfer Protocol, secured one, right? So especially when you are giving your usernames and passwords, the credit card numbers, some other sensitive data. So it is a web page should be on a HTTPS to receive something like that. Otherwise, web browser will give you a special message saying this website is not trustworthy, right? Even for the websites which just not have HTTPS, some browsers are generally saying it is not secure, right? Even for my website, the Chrome is giving this website is not a secured one. It is because I have not purchased uh, the what we call the HTTPS. I have to like pay and take the protocol, right? Otherwise, here it says your connection to this site is not secure. You should not enter any sensitive information on this site. That is what it says. Like it doesn't mean that this website is harmful, right? But it says do not provide the sensitive data and all these things. But then again, like that websites seems to be harmful for your computer. uh, the Chrome or the any other web browser is alerting you. And it is a part of the your antivirus software as well, which says don't visit this site. It will harm your it can harm your computer through the website, right? Now this is not secure thing, is not like that, right? But be very careful when you are like referring into these things, right? So what I can assure is my website is not going to harm your computer in any by any means, right? But you should be sure if you are visiting to something which is not secure, right? And why HTTPS is there uh, to provide the security for the clients when you are doing the things in the client server architecture, because clients are the people who are involved in highly with the servers. Right now, if you take an e-commerce website, it is must to have a HTTPS protocol, because you are about to give your credit card details, your personal details. So there should be an assurance that these details are being used in a proper manner, in a secure manner. So HTTPS is one of the components which ensure that security, right? So that is about the World Wide Web, right? And about the history, it's a Sir Tim Berners-Lee uh, who have gave the birth to the WWW, which is the World Wide Web, right? And today it is being maintained by the W3C, World Wide Web Consortium, right? So it is a a non-profitable organization which take care of the internet, right? It's a bunch of good people, goodwill people who like doing their service free of charge to the goodwill of the mankind, right? And in like regarding the website, uh, what to be done, like how you are going to interact with the website, right? Like you need a URL to access a particular website, and each and every website is having a home page, right? That is the one that you are going to receive when you are giving the common URL to the website, like google.com, yahoo.com, facebook.com, right? Like whenever when someone is mentioning this is the website that I got, he is mentioning the URL of the homepage, and homepage has the link to all other pages in the website, right? In the fifth lesson of yours, you will learn how to create a website, right? So then you will learn there is a language called HTML, hypertext markup language, which helps you to create a web page, and collection of web page will build a website, right? So then you have to host your website to be accessed by the people around the globe, right? So we'll discuss about it when the time comes with that lesson, right? So for the moment, I'll keep this www with this particular information, right? And the next service is called the file transfer protocol. Like Minul, so what you're asking, companies like Google, Firefox, Edge, etc., are part of the internet browsers. No, it's like this, Minul, like Google Corporation, of course, they owns the Google website.
No, no, sir. I asked, so that means instead of companies, browsers.
Yeah. So like it's like what you're asking is like browsers are being represented like companies, something like that.
No, no, like you said, like people edit
I
the
mean,
like they have
like,
access to the World Wide Web.
no,
So
no,
that means
no, Minul, no. W3C consortium, you are talking about that, right?
yeah.
Yeah, W3C consortium is majorly focusing on the protocols, like how it should happen, not like Google, Edge, and all these things. They are not maintaining any of the browsers. The browsers are given by a separate web servers again, right? Again, search engine එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ, it's again a web page, right? So that is going to be again a website. The only difference of the of the search engine is you can search a lot of things through that website, right? That is the only difference of the search engine and the normal website. But both are maintained by some companies, not from the W3C. W3C is just looking after the standards and the protocols, right? Got it, Mino? Clear?
Yeah.
Right. So then the file transfer protocol, we talked about this, neither. Like when you are like, it is one of the service of the internet. When you are like transferring some files using the internet, it is the file transfer protocol is the one which you use, right? So majorly when we are like doing the uploading process, and we can send some files from one particular device to another particular device through the internet, FTP take place, file transfer protocol. And this helps you to transfer like bigger files. Like when it comes to the attachment of an email, it gives you some limit. If you take the Gmail services, it won't allow you like larger than 25 MB, I guess, right? And the Yahoo, it has a larger amount, like 40 or 60, right? Like other than that, they are not allowing you to attach the things, right? But if you really need to transfer bigger files, it's the help of the FTP that you can take, right? So for that, you should have the services from a FTP server, right? And the remote access, this is maybe you may have experienced this, right? And ගොඩක් වෙලාවට අපි online product එකක් purchase කරාම, like especially when it comes to the softwares and all these things, uh, the software company, if we got a problem, software company access our computer through the remote login, so like this remote access, and they do the changes in our computer. Nowadays, like work from home is a very famous topic in these days due to this quarantine situation. So what they are doing is, in most of the companies, like especially when it comes to the banks, they keep the bankers in their home, and they give the access to the personal computers of the bankers, which they use for their personal things at home, and take the remote access with their computer in the bank. Right? The bank එකේ computer එක on කරලා ඒකට access දෙනවා ගෙදර තියෙන computer එකේ. Right? So they are working like virtually in their computer at the bank, right? So one computer is somewhere else, the other computer is somewhere else, and through the internet, they got the access, they grant the access between the computers, and they can work. It needs a very a good internet connection, not a very strong one, but a good internet connection. So the things will go in a very smooth manner, right? And you may have asked, you may have heard the softwares like TeamViewer, right? Which allows you to do the remote accessing. Don't touch it. So that is working. That is working. We'll come after the class, huh? Right. So, okay, so that is what is called remote access, right? Accessing the computers, or like accessing the devices remotely, right? And where, it must have the internet connection. Like without that, you won't be able to do it, right? And then remote access experience කරලා නැත්නම් remote access දුන්නම කාට හරි ඔයාට පුළුවන් mouse point එක handle කරන්න, එයාටත් පුළුවන් mouse point එක handle කරන්න. කියන්නේ you are working on your computer, the one who has the remote access is also working on your computer, right? එහෙම චිත්‍රයක් කරගන්න, right? That is what happened, right? So the file sharing, we know it's a very famous service among us, right? Like you can have a particular yes, Minol, yes. And when it comes to the file sharing, now don't mix the file transfer and file sharing together. File transferring means like sending a file from one place to another place. File sharing is you are creating a file at one particular place and giving the access to that file from all around the globe, right? So now when you create a Google Doc using the Google Docs, so then once you share it, now if I create a Google Docs by myself and if I share it with you, I can work on that particular document as well as you will be able to work on that particular document, the same document. I can edit as well as you in the same time, right? So that is what we call file sharing, right? So you have the file physically at your place and you are allowing the others to access that particular file, right? And file transferring means you are sending a copy of your file to some other person using the file transfer protocol, right? And the streaming of media, that is another very nice service that we receive through the internet, right? Like we got a lot of streamings, like streaming videos, streaming live events, right? Now, like when you go for the social media, like streaming is like happening like never before now, right? So people come and do the live videos and all these things. So it is streaming. So when we go live on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, so it is just streaming ourselves lively, and all the people who are accessing that particular website will be able to communicate with us in a live manner, right? So again, the internet connection matters, and still it is a good way to communicate, right? කියන්නේ අපිට ඉස්සර live broadcast එකක් කරන්න ගියොත් the television is the only media. So live broadcasting is a very hectic process for the when it comes to the television, right? They have to like set up the place and have these all kinds of big equipments, right? Cameras and all these things. But nowadays, it's a very simple thing to do a live stream, right? Like when it comes to the quality, there are ups and downs, but live streaming is something simple now, right? And when they are doing the streaming, yes, Seren, video conferencing, yeah, it's kind of a stream. Yes, we can say like that. හැබැයි වීඩියෝ කන්ෆරන්සිං වලදී ස්ට්‍රීමින් වලට වඩා ටිකක් වැඩිපුර facilities එනවා සරන් like now if you think about this situation, this is video conferencing, so we have the facility of sharing the screen, like communicating and exchanging the files and all these things, right? Having the chat services and all these things, like most of the things are there with the streaming as well. But when it comes to the video conferencing, it is much beneficiary to the people who are involved in it. And again, when it comes to the streaming and the video conferencing, the major difference is video conference limit the audience, right? Like I can't do a video conference to the entire world, right? But streaming, that can happen to any major event or like any major crowd, right? So when I go live on YouTube, it is available to the entire world. No one is restricted like seeing it or watching it, right? But when it comes to the video conferencing, there are limits, right? Now, when it comes to the basic streaming process, this is how it happens. Now, if we like think about that, we need to watch a cricket match in a streaming media, right? So what we are doing is we are just visiting the website which provides us the particular streaming file or like the streaming player, and when we went there and search or like request for the file, the particular web server will access the media server, right? So the media server is the one who is responsible for actual streaming. It's not the website that it is doing by themselves. The web server එකට බැහැ streaming කියන එක කරගන්න. Web server is there to give the web service. So it is showing you the web page which has the player. So playing the things in it, it is taken care of by the media server, right? Which is capable of streaming, right? So what happens is when we visit to the particular website and we search for a streaming media, it will, that particular website, it will be YouTube live. So when when we access the YouTube and we open the player, so YouTube just showing us the things, but the processing happens from the media server side. So media server will is the one which showing us the things. Web server, it is just providing us a place to see what media server does, right? So that is what it describes. The user visits a web page hosted on a web server and finds a file he'd like to see or hear. The web server sends the message to streaming media server requesting the specific file. Then the streaming server streams the file to the user's computer bypassing the web server, right? So web server is just there to give us the service, right? To show the play. Playing part is done by the media, right? Okay, so the yeah,
So
one
to stream this,
minute.
to stream the same media in different resolution, do they like save the video, like save the resource in like different resolution, like different sizes in the media server, or do they like
Yeah, it
com-
happens like that. Like when you are uploading a video to the YouTube, they process it in two different ways. ඒ කියන්නේ ඒගොල්ලෝ අපෙන් options ඉල්ලනවා high definition තියා ඒගොල්ලෝ කොහොමත් standard definition and high definition කියලා දෙකක් කොහොමත් ඒගොල්ලෝ save කර ගන්නවා. Like if we want to like save it as a 4K video or like provide it as a 4K one, we have to like instruct them like it should be something like this here, right? So they have separate things. මට තේරෙන විදිහට එහෙමයි. මොකද uploading වලදී they are processing for both the things, standard edition as well as the high definitions generally, like
so they are compressing it? Like if I upload a
yeah.
1080p video, they might compress it to 720p and like lower resolutions to stream.
Yeah, definitely එහෙම වෙන්න ඕනේ. Otherwise like අපිට බෑනේ එකම එක වෙනස් විදිවලට පෙන්න ගන්න. We won't be able to do that. ඒ කියන්නේ එහෙමම process කරලා දෙනවා කියලා මම හිතන්නේ නැහැ. They may have separate compressed files. And when it comes to the search engines, it is the other famous service that we use, like ඕක තමයි telephone එකකට ඉස්සරුනේ, like when the era that we could not save the numbers in our mobiles, we have to like keep it on a particular book by writing the particular number and the name of the person who owns that. So we take the book and like we search for the number and we dial it and we do the calling, right? But when the phone and this storing part is there, like the phone book is there, electronic phone book is there, we just save the number and like we refer them using the number, or you using the name, right? Not by the number, right? So when we need to put a call, we just search the name and we press it, right? Now we really don't remember what are the numbers of the people. We just remember the names, right? Phone එක නැති වුණොත් මේක මට හරි නේද? I have had the I have experienced the situation, right? Phone එක off වුණොත් SIM එක වෙන phone එකකට දාගත්තොත්, so I only remember my wife's and my mom's and my home telephone number, not anything else. Like the database is that big now, right? We have like thousands of contacts in our phone book, so we just search it, right? So in the search engine, it does the same thing. Now we really don't remember the URLs of the websites, right? Like if we really want to know about something, we just search, right? If we need to know about the let's say we need to know about the quantum computing, we just type quantum computing. So the search engine will list us a big list of links about the quantum computing, right? So we can go through and see, right? If you need to know about how a Photoshop, a kind of a photo editing is done, so we'll just search it, right? It's better we search with the minimum keywords and some specific keywords. ඒ කියන්නේ අපේ search core එක පොඩි වෙන තරමට සහ specific වෙන තරමට අපිට බොහොම ඉක්මනට අපිට අවශ්‍ය දේ හොයාගන්න පුළුවන්, right? And nowadays, like search engines are given you many different facilities. Like now Google has given you the facility to search particular things using a picture, right? Not only by a word, right? Ega pictures වලින් search කරන එක සෑහෙන කල් ලැබිලා. So it is giving you that particular things. And when you go for a search engine and if you search something, right? So let's say cat, right? So it will give you a list of things, and now it is like giving you many different in many different categories. Now you can search for images if you want, you can search for videos, you can search for news, right? So they categorize it for you, right? So so it will be much easier for the user to do the searching, right? And like when you go to the images, I frequently use this, and using the tools, you can filter your searching, right? You can, if you want large size of photos, you can choose large. And if you want a particular color, then you are going to use a particular color. So then only that particular color will be provided. And if you want a type, so you can say I only need clip art, so it will only provide me clip arts. Now I got only large pictures in with blue color cats, which is in the clip art mode, right? So it is that uh, advanced now, right? So now like without a search engine, internet is not going to be a good place for you, as well as us, right? Like අපිට ඒක කියන්නේ අපි hassle එකක් නැතුව internet යන්නේ සහ ගිහින් surf කරන්නේ because of the search engines, right? If we don't have the search engines, අපි වැඩි ඔකට යන්නේ නැහැ නේද? දන්න කියන තැන් දෙක තුනකට විතරක් ගිහිල්ලා එනවා නේ. So it's going to be like that. And there are many different search engines, and google.com is the one which is the famous one, right? And Yahoo, MSN, Ask, there are many, right? ඔය search engine කියන එක කොච්චර ප්‍රසිද්ධද කියනවා Google කරනවා කියන එක, like 10 or 15 years back, dictionary had a particular word called googling, right? Oxford dictionary එක refer කරලා බලුවොත් ඒක googling කියලා වචනයක් තියෙනවා. It has a definition. Search inside the google.com කියන එක, right? So it is that famous, right? Okay, so the time is 4:34 people. I think we don't need to talk about the domain name server because we had it today at the beginning of the lesson. So I'm not going to talk about it again. It's the same thing, right? So when we start in the next day, let's write down the important parts of these services, right? So by next week, I hope we will be able to finish with these things, right? Yeah, we will be able to finish with this lesson. Then we can go for the multimedia one, right? Okay, people, next week, like we are going to do some practical regarding the email. So get ready. Email, like we have some practical. So get ready for that as well, right?
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Right, okay, good night and stay safe, people, right? Thank you very much for coming today, right? Have a...
Thank you, sir.
Right, okay, people. Thank you very much.
Sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Right,
Thank
okay.
you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Right, okay, bye. Thank you.